I guess it cut out for a second. Sorry, guys. But they do a good job in the Pirates Ride of making it like somewhat canon, with Johnny Depp actually being in there and hiding from everyone, because that's kind of what he does anyway. Is just like try not to get caught by all the various people who are have it out for him. So I'll let everybody come back in here for a second. It looks like the stream restarted. Something about this hotel Wi-Fi, it drops every like 10 minutes. I was looking at my videos on Twitch, and Twitch is really finicky. It's not like YouTube, where if you drop frames, or Facebook where you drop frames and then it stitches it together into one video. Twitch, like if you lose the stream for like more than 20 seconds, it makes it into another video when it comes back. And I was looking at my previous videos, and it was like 3 10-minute long streams. Something about the hotel Wi-Fi makes it so that the stream has to cut after a certain time. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'll just go off LTE next time. But yeah, so that's something I appreciate about the Avatar ride, is that it's not trying so hard to make the story characters show up in a way that couldn't have happened in that thing's universe. So like the Gringotts ride, like it's awesome. I really like the Gringotts ride. I might even like it better than the Harry Potter's Hogwarts flight ride, which is really good in the first place. But both of those have things where like in the Gringotts ride, like Voldemort like appears in the middle of Gringotts Bank when they're breaking out of the bank, and it doesn't really make sense within the canon. You know what I mean? Like there are obviously parts in the other ride where it's like taking place during the fourth movie, and he's fighting the dragon and everything. But he's also like giving you a tour through the school, and like of course, none of that would really fit within the canon of the story. And I like that in the Avatar ride, it's completely, it would completely fit within the canon of the universe, for whatever that's worth, in the Avatar franchise. Um, there we go. Rin saying, I'm back. A couple people getting sad about the stream going away. Sorry, guys, for the interruption in service. Again, it's the hotel Wi-Fi having problems. But yeah, that's sort of some of the stuff that we did in Animal Kingdom. They also have a great ride, the Expedition Everest, which they sort of retrofitted the Matterhorn in LA to have some of the aspects of that. But Expedition Everest is like you're going up Mount Everest in like a mine cart or something, and then the Yeti is chasing you throughout the ride. And there's actually a part, and not to spoil it, but like there's a part where the track goes out at the top of your like drop thing, and instead of going down the drop, you actually go backwards as you're getting chased by the Yeti, and it's really cool. Uh, it works better here than it does in the Matterhorn version, because the Matterhorn version is super janky and it really knocks you around all the time. So I prefer this version. Kiki saying, I can't wait for when they release Avatar 2 in about 20 years. No, it's supposed to happen in 2020, apparently. And I heard that James Cameron is working on a glasses-less 3D, which is like, I don't know. This guy just sits there and comes up with like the most ridiculous things that then like move the industry forward. So good for him. I hope that he does it. I hope that madman figures it out, because I would definitely watch it. But yeah, Expedition Everest is super cool. If you haven't gone, they have like a whole. I guess it's supposed to be Nepal. I don't know where Mount Everest is, but I'm guessing Nepal, because it looked exactly like. The only reason I say Nepal is because it looked exactly like the aesthetic of Uncharted 2, which took place in Nepal. So I'm gonna say that that game, or rather that ride, and that entire land is supposed to be Nepal. But in Animal Kingdom, the they have it's basically like if they took made an entire land out of Adventureland. So they made an entire theme park out of Adventureland from Disney, but different aesthetics of like jungle areas. So they have like Africa, like different parts of Asia, and obviously they have their own unique cultural things, and like they're really really well set design. Like some of my favorite things there you can see on my Instagram story are just like the ripped up and weathered posters that are on the walls, on the telephone poles and on the buildings and everything. They're so textured and so detailed, A lot of the sort of there's like lines hanging from the buildings with all the clothes and these sort of streamer things coming off of them. You can see it in my Instagram story, but there's like a lot of really, really textured stuff in that area. Frost and Rin are heading out. Thank you guys for joining the show. I appreciate it. And we are going to have more stuff coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow is an off day from parks. It's been a lot of walking around, a lot of activity. But tomorrow I won't be going to parks, so we'll be doing some streams from the hotel. Maybe I can stream from poolside, maybe do some live readings, maybe do some Q&As, just general talk show stuff. We'll see what we want to do, but keep your eyes out for that stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. But yeah, Everest area is super cool. And we went to, after that, the Hollywood zone, which you guys saw me stream from as well. The Hollywood Studios is really great. They just have a lot of detail in their sort of like uber stylized Hollywood area. Universal, of course, is also imitating the Hollywood look, but it's different. Universal is trying to look like it's a backlot, so they sort of recreate, instead of recreating something that looks like Hollywood, they make their Hollywood area look like New York, or it looks like Italy or something, because the idea is that you're on the backlot of Universal where they had dressed all the sets of like the exteriors. But in Disney, they're making it look like you're in Hollywood. So like they have a recreation of Grauman's Chinese Theater, which is like that famous theater where all the movies premiere and everything. They have a recreation of like all these different kinds of famous buildings from LA. Pretty sure the Hollywood sign is there somewhere. They have like 1950s themed diners and stuff. But it's all supposed to look like Golden Age Hollywood stuff, which is really, and they have like the Hollywood music playing, da 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 Hollywood, and there'll be guys with like popcorn selling things all over the street. It's great. Very sort of like hyper stylized vision of Hollywood, not like it actually is, where it's just really dirty. That's what actual Hollywood is. And you walk past a street corner with like a souvenir store, and it's blasting music like way louder than it should. Frosting, the real LA is much better. Yes, real LA is great, but it's nice to see their like really clean version of Hollywood, because of course the great parts about LA and the great parts about New York are the like dirty parts, where it's like, I know it's dirty, and I know it's like there are some aspects that are not they're just like really, really dark and dirty, but like that's what you love about it. It's textured and it's really fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, they have a couple of great rides there. The Tower of Terror, they actually have the frosting. I'm really enjoying myself here. Yeah, it's great. I don't mean to put down Hollywood or any aspect of LA. Obviously, I lived there for the last 4 years, and a lot of people who move there end up hating it, but I really think I like it more all the time, so that is a good sign, I suppose. Yeah, but the Tower of Terror original version is still here in Orlando, so we got to go on that. It's not retrofitted into Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the actual Tower of Terror, where it's Twilight Zone themed. There, you're in this really, really textured, really detailed, cobweb filled hotel, and then you go. I didn't remember that on the Tower of Terror ride. Welcome Stitchings, by the way, in the stream to the show, talking about more Disney stuff, things that you may know about. But we have in the Tower of Terror ride, Rod Serling says his thing, and you go up, and then you go through the hotel like it's an elevator, but then it goes forward. It goes like on the floor, and then like all the lights drop out, and it's you're in the stars, and then they have the door that comes and spins around like in the Twilight Zone. It's pretty really impressive. Like I don't even get how they do that, but it's great. And the ride still holds up. It totally holds up. I think it's still amazing. Even though I love Guardians, I think I don't know, I might like Guardians better just because I love the characters and I love the character to the ride. But going back on Tower of Terror, it's still so good. Like it's probably just as good as the Guardians ride in its own way. Frost saying, my favorite ride there. Stitching saying, I refuse to ride Tower of Terror. I have major phobia of heights and elevators. Oh, well then don't go on Tower of Terror. It is genuinely scary too. Like as opposed to Guardians, where if you haven't been on Guardians, it's like the Guardians are up in different part levels of the building, and then like you're in this like gantry lift that's even when they open the door and you see Chris Pratt and everybody doing their stuff, like the thing is shaking the whole time, so you're like constantly in motion and you never know when it's going to do something. But it's kind of like a fun vibe, like you're just hanging out with the Guardians. But in the Disneyland, in the Tower of Terror, you're in like pitch black and you don't know what's going to happen, and then they just like jump scare you with like flying you upwards or flying you downwards. So it's a whole different vibe. And obviously there's like a horror overtone to the whole thing where like a family got electrocuted in the elevator, and you're like in the same elevator on the same kind of night as they were on. So it has a totally different vibe, and I think that it's not going to like kill you with scariness, but it actually does have a good like horror aspect to it. Kiki saying, I will not get on that metal death box. Stitching saying, I've never ridden Tower of Terror and I never will. Well, I think you're missing out, but I can respect it. I haven't actually. When I was a kid, I never went on it. I hadn't gone on it until like 4 years ago because I was so scared of it. So I'm totally in your. I was in your shoes as well. But other than Tower of Terror, we did a couple of rides. I'm trying to think of what else is in the Hollywood studios that I did. The Aerosmith ride, Rock and Roller Coaster, is like pretty thrilling. It's like Space Mountain on crack, where you're in the pitch black, but then there's like it's supposed to represent you going through like LA or something in a big limousine, but you're like flipping around and doing spins and stuff, and it really made me sick. Like it shakes you around, it rattles your head around a lot. So probably not the most comfortable ride to be on. And after that, I was just about done. But if you haven't done this in Disney, then try going to the 50s. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's called like the Cafe something 50s, and it's not just a 50s themed diner like a lot of places are. It's a 50s. It's a diner that is made up to look like a 50s house. So there's like maybe 10 rooms. Stitching saying 50s primetime diner. Yes, I ate there tonight, and it's really impressive. Like the production design in there, where it looks like you're in like a kitchen in the 50s or like a living room in the 50s, or all these different areas that they theme out. So it's not like, we have like a 50s cafe in LA where it looks like a cafe that existed in the 50s, or a cafe that's like decked out with 50s stuff, which is what the one is by us. But this one is like, it looks like you're walking into someone's house. Like every room that you go in, it looks like you're in someone's house. Yeah, Stitching saying, I like how they treat you in there. It makes me laugh out loud. Yeah, the wait staff is also like really sassy, and they're basically treating it like the whole idea is that it's like mom's kitchen, and like mom doesn't want you to put your elbows on the table, or doesn't want you to, do all these different things, like, go play with your toys, which is like when you're on your cell phone or something. Hey, Death Slayer's in here, by the way. Welcome, Death Slayer, to the show. Yeah, Stitching saying, elbows off the table, Nick. No, they totally did that, and I love it. Oh, J-Bug is hosting. Thank you to J-Bug for the host. Welcome to anybody who's joining in the show. You're watching The Voice of Nick right now. My channel is where I play video games live 3 times a day. Every single day. I don't talk over story or cutscenes, but I do request no gameplay or story spoilers. None of that applies this week because I'm on vacation, so I'm streaming all IRL stuff. We just did 2 Disney streams today, where I was at Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. This is the 4th Disney day that I've streamed from. We've also done, one of those days was Universal Studios as well, the Harry Potter section. A lot of stuff on here with vacation streaming. I'm still doing my 3 streams a day, but from the phone. So stay tuned for that stuff, guys. And if you haven't done so already, if someone could post that welcome message, thank you to Frost, hit that follow button. You'll see all the stuff that I do, and you'll also contribute to our follower goal. Stitching saying, are you going to go to Epcot? I actually did on Saturday. So check the previous streams. I did 2 streams from Epcot. One of them was from the Viking area, the Nordic area, and then one of the ones was from the Japanese area. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, check back on those. I don't think I'm going to go back. I'm not going to go back to Epcot, but I am going to go back to Magic Kingdom. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that was sort of the recap of what went down at Disney today, guys. Thank you everybody who joined both of the shows. Thank you to everyone who joined this show. Let's raid somebody at the end of today's episode before we go here. So I'll go find somebody to raid. But to give you guys the whole rundown, once again, my channel is called The Voice of Nick. I play video games 3 times a day, but that doesn't apply this week because I'm on vacation. So when I'm away from my stream setup, I'll be doing IRL streams for all 3 of my slots, whether that's streaming from Disney, streaming from Universal, talk shows, Q&A, live readings, all sorts of stuff. Make sure you hit that follow button if you want to see more of that stuff. And if you're already a follower, then make sure that you join along for those because they're really going to be a lot of fun. They have been a lot of fun so far.